Hi, I'm John from PGP Wedding Films, and welcome to Say Yes to the Best, where we talk to the best wedding pros to give you wedding planning advice. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram. We have new content out all the time to help you with your wedding planning. And today I have a special guest. I always talk to really awesome wedding pros, but I can't say every single time that it's somebody I hired for my own wedding. But today I'm with Mike Simmons of Must Be the Music DJs. Hi, Mike.
Hello, John. Thanks for having me here.
Like I said, my wife and I, longer than I'd like to admit, hired you to be our wedding DJ. And that's been kind of cool for me because most of the people, like I was the typical groom and I had very little to do with wedding planning, but meeting with you is one of the things that I did do. And because I did so little planning, I haven't really run into anybody else I worked with, but I've run into you and I've worked with you now. And that's been kind of a cool experience for me.
Yeah, it's the DJ seems to be the one thing where the guys are like, "I'll come to that meeting." So the DJ, the music part of it is guys are usually pretty much into it. You know, it's like, "Oh, this is my one job to hire the DJ." So it's the one thing that the lads are usually like, "Heck yeah, I'm in. Let's do it."
So, Mike, do you want to tell the audience a little bit about your company and what you guys do?
Entertainment. DJ is a title, just so everybody knows. Entertainer is really more of an accurate description of what goes on. Because anybody, oh, I play music, I'm a DJ. And you need someone for your wedding that is a true wedding entertainer. That encompasses so many different aspects of the wedding. It's the organization, it's the setting you up for success, checking in with you. Are your vendors around when things are actually happening? Checking in with the venue. What time do you guys plan on doing this? Are we all on the same page? Things like that. There are so many little behind the scenes elements to this that happens. The true wedding DJ is so much more involved than simply playing music. Music is kind of a constant that's always going on in the background. There's all these other things happening aside from that.
Today, I wanted to ask you, what are some things couples can do to work with their DJ and help their DJ to have the reception run smoothly, as well as make sure that their guests and they are having the time of their lives?
Preparation. Fail to plan, plan to fail. The more you do within reason ahead of time, the better off you're going to be. You don't want to just kind of play it by ear and then your DJ's coming up to you constantly. "Hey, you ready to do this? Hey, do you want to do that? What do you think of this?" All that stuff should be mapped out. You should have a real game plan of everything that you're doing at your final meeting or at your final phone call. I do a final meeting and then I do a final phone call that week of the wedding just to dial in those details and everything. So there's really 2 checkpoints to kind of confirm things and go over everything. Most important part, be clear in what your expectations are. Even if it's something as simple as just saying, "Hey, we just want everybody to have a good time and we want things to go smooth and we want people to walk out of there feeling like they just came from the greatest wedding ever." I mean, even if it's as simple as that, tell your entertainment what you want, because they're not, mind readers. You might be like, "Hey, we're more into like just kind of like a relaxed, chill kind of vibe," but your DJ might be, like like just like so so disproportionate to what you were thinking. So to be on the same page is really important with just like anything in life. Whoever you're dealing with, being on the same page. Good entertainment, a good wedding entertainer should be able to read that crowd, see what's working, seeing what's not. A lot of these companies, they'll have like, "Oh, these are my top 50 songs to play at a wedding." Well, that sucks, because guess what? Those same 50 songs he's playing at every wedding. Now your wedding has just blended in with all the other cookie cutter weddings out there. And same top 50 list. It's just like every couple. They want, what are some good wedding songs? You get the same repeated list over and over and over again. And you want your wedding to be different. And that's where your DJ really comes in, is they can look at that crowd and go, "Okay, this is working, this is not. I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that." And just try different things. Keep it fresh, keep it moving. So good entertainment is probably the single most important thing to have your wedding run smoothly and everybody walk out of there having a great time. Because no one's going to wake up and go, "Man, the flowers. wow, they were awesome the next day. No one's saying that. Sorry to all my flower people. Love you guys, but it's the truth. No one's wedding was off the hook because the centerpieces, of the hydrangeas. It's the entertainment.
Absolutely. It made me think of another time. It was a reception. Very little was going on. Nobody was really dancing. But after maybe like an hour or two, and finally there were a few people out on the dance floor. And that's when the DJ decided to do the anniversary dance, which sent everyone off the dance floor. Nobody went back on the dance floor the rest of the night. And I'm just like pulling my hair. I was like, how am I supposed to make this film? Nobody's doing anything. So just having a DJ who reads the room, I think, just like you said, is so vital, because if your crowd's not a dancing crowd, they know a good DJ knows the songs to play to make everybody happy. Or if it looks like they're going to dance, finding that right combination to get people to feel comfortable, it makes such a difference.
It's a very artsy craft, DJing. And that's like not to date ourselves, I'm including you, but ever since the internet, everyone's got access to music. You really had to aspire and want to be a DJ, decades ago. I mean, you had to want it. You had to invest all this money in music and equipment. You can just, I know of people that are just streaming their music right off of the Wi-Fi from the venue. Well, how shoddy is Wi-Fi when 150, 200 people are all trying to log on at the same time? One venue told me a story that the first dance, the DJ was streaming the music from YouTube, like YouTube, commercials and all. Their first dance started with a Tide commercial in the beginning. Awful. And things like that is just the difference between a real professional who's doing this full time, that their livelihood depends on it, and someone that is just kind of doing it for, extra money, just doing it on the side. My whole week for your wedding is just preparation. Just, any of these other guys, they may just work in their day jobs and, may get to it Friday night before your wedding. What if there's a question? What if something goes wrong? They need to know something. Nobody wants to be bothered the night before, 2 nights before, the day of, which, I hear so many horror stories, and it pains me. It hurts me to hear couples having to go through that because a friend of a friend, or, oh, this guy, he really good deal. He gave us a great deal. But in the end, that deal is not so sweet,
I always tell people that, there's, when you invest in a real professional, like, yes, you can get something cheaper, but there's a reason they're cheaper. So you got to be prepared for that reason coming up on your wedding and causing a problem.
Yeah. Did saving, $500 on the DJ, did it make up for losing $20,000 in total on your wedding when everybody left an hour before the wedding was over? I mean, we're the only vendor that can keep people there all night long or send them out to their cars early and make them want to leave.
So what is the biggest concern most couples have when they come to you about what they need to do in planning their reception?
Biggest concern? Normally everyone says, they just want everyone to have a good time. And that's, yes, ideally, awesome. There's so many things that come into play with that. I mean, you should have all your groundwork laid out ahead of time. It's like anything. Most of the work is all in the preparation. Just, like you're painting your room at home, you're doing painting. It's all the prep work. That's what takes all the time. Same thing with the wedding. Get your prep work done. Have everything lined up. You don't want to be under the gun and, 2 nights before the wedding, you're doing, name cards or, something stupid like that. Just prepare. Again, fail to plan to fail.
For you, what is the hardest part of working a wedding reception? Having
to stop. having it to end when I'm like, oh, I wish we could have just 30 more minutes. That's the hardest part. It's just when you want to keep going.
What is the biggest mistake you see couples make in their wedding planning?
Listening to family members and not doing what they want to do, what's in their heart. And I tell everybody when we sit down here, I'm like, everyone's going to tell you your opinion. You got to do this, you got to do that. You don't have to do anything. You accept what you want to do and what's in your heart. Because at the end of the day, it's your wedding. And a year, 10 years from now, you're going to want to look back and be like, I wanted to do that and I did it.
If you could tell every couple just like one thing to make their wedding go smoother, what would it be?
Hire good vendors. Hire your main players, hire good quality professional vendors. You will thank yourself in the end. Your guests will thank you too, because that is the difference between a good wedding and a bad wedding. Photographer, are they missing shots, or are they wearing, sneakers? Do they look appropriately? All these little different elements. Professionals will take care of every aspect, every element of your wedding.
What is your favorite part of a wedding reception?
I like intros. Intros for me, I mean, that's like go time, That's like if you were a bodybuilder, when you got on stage, it was your time to flex and show your stuff. That introduction is really the time when guests are going to be wowed, or they're going to be like, well, that was a dud. So you can really set the stage with your introductions.
What is the biggest misconception people have when it comes to being a wedding entertainer?
That your DJ is just some guy saying a few things and playing a few songs. And I'm sure you see the difference between having a real DJ that can read that crowd and mix that music together flawlessly, seamlessly. The MC aspect of this too is, can you handle yourself in front of 150, 200 people, get their attention, capture their attention, and not annoy them all in the same time? It is a very fine line between being a dud on the mic, being just right, or being a wacky morning man. Even small things like volume. Is it too quiet during dancing? Not going to feel like a party. Is it too loud during dancing? You're going to send people out of there, So all of this stuff, fine line, fine line.
I always see a big difference because both with like DJs and bands, I can tell the people who really are trying to hone, where you can hear. They're walking around the room and they're playing music, because I'm usually setting up for the reception at the same time they're getting prepped. And it's like, I can tell the person who's just going to hit play and the speakers are just going to do their thing. And the people who really know this, I've got to make sure that grandma in the back can hear it, but the grandma closer to the dance floor doesn't have to feel like she needs earplugs.
That professional should look at every little aspect of that wedding to enhance people's overall experience. Whether it's, are they talking too much? Are they not energetic? Or are they too much? Is it too loud? Is it not loud enough? Simple thing, just a smile on your face. I mean, do you look like you're happy to be there, or don't you? It's a wedding, like, big deal. You should be happy for these people. You should be ecstatic. I hate that when I talk to like photographers or anybody else and they come in, they're like, God, can't wait till 10 o'clock. That sucks. Your attitude sucks. You're at their wedding. Like, how dare you come in here with that attitude? This is their wedding. You should probably not be in this industry if the only thing you're worried about is A, getting the meal, or 2, what time you're leaving.
So for you, what is the best part of your job?
When I see at the end of the night, everything that's happened from beginning to end, and knowing that I was like the vast majority of making that happen. I'm the one making those announcements. I'm the one, the right song at the right time, and what should we do now? And it just, you're creating this night. Your couple is kind of giving you some direction and some guidelines. You're the one putting it all together. At the end of the night, when they come up and they talk to me and we're hug, and I walk out of there just, ecstatic. Like, I go in ecstatic and I go walk out ecstatic.
Well, great, Mike. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's nice to not only talk to another human being besides the people in my house, but the quarantine and such. But it's nice to talk to another, vendor in the industry and someone that cares like me, and such as yourself. It's just nice to talk shop.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Mike. And thank you for watching Say Yes to the Best. Again, subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram. We have new stuff out for you all the time. So thanks again and happy planning.